In this video, I wanted to take the time to talk about Tesla and the reasons for me exiting out of this position, despite almost doubling my money in this stock. Tesla was one of my better holdings. It is a stock that generated around 80 to 90% return on my capital. I did buy a lot of it when it was trading at just over $200 a share. I actually did buy some when it was trading below $200. But the vast majority of the shares were purchased are just around the $250, $240 mark. This is not a hit piece against Tesla. This is not a endorsement of the stock either, but this is just a reasoning on why I exited out of the position. I used to be a big fan of Elon Musk. I really like what he was doing, and I recognized his accomplishments in life as a businessman. But more recently, after the last, I would say, 3 years, his behaviors were not productive and they were not becoming of someone who should be leading a publicly traded company. Just to start, let's look at its financials. So we can just look at the revenue. We can see that Tesla did report record revenue. However, this was due to the Trump administration removing the EV tax credits. So those who really wanted an EV, they decided to take the time and to take advantage of the EV credits before they completely disappeared under the Trump administration. Despite Elon Musk's political participation, he was not able to convince Trump to keep the EV credits. In fact, he did a lot of damage with that relationship. It does look like the relationship, for the most part, it hasn't been directly confrontational, but it was still not very good on how the way that Elon Musk has handled it. And his political participation overall, oh boy, I am not happy about that. But just getting on the revenue, we can see that the last two quarters in Q1 and Q2, it has declined from 2024. And the recent bump in revenue right now is largely due to the removal of EV tax credits. So people are just getting their purchases in before it disappears entirely. So the future of Tesla right now does look a little bit shaky, and there is a lot of competition from Chinese companies, particularly BYD, in selling EV vehicles. We can see that the vehicle deliveries, it has been flat, and it looks like the Cybertruck, for the most part, has been a failure. Sad to say, but yeah, I'm just saying it how things are. The net income has been declining. The cash flow seems to be doing all right. It does seem to be slowly increasing, although not as high as it was previously before. But the cash flow is not too bad. The one saving grace that Tesla does have is the non-auto gross profit. So this is how much money they're making from non-auto sales. I actually do think that Tesla Energy is a crown jewel of Tesla. I think they should really be protecting it, promoting it, and growing it. So even if their car business does not work out, I think that there's a very real chance that Tesla Energy itself could be highly valuable and can be worth more than the car business altogether. We look at the shares outstanding. There hasn't been much share dilution in the past years, and then the balance sheet, for the most part, does look fine. Tesla right now is trading at a stock price of $401, $404. Of course, I sold my position at around 440-ish, or just around that mark. Good thing I got in before the decline, but who knows? Maybe the stock might jump up even higher going forward. But the valuation of Tesla is quite extreme. So it is trading at a PE ratio of 268 with a forward PE of expected 192 and a price to free cash flow of 190. So these are very premium valuation for a company that is very capital intensive. Tesla, they do have a lot of costs associated. They don't have their margins like I would hope that they have kept back in the pandemic days. Tesla, for the most part, is a car company. It does sell a bunch of other stuff. I do acknowledge it. I will be addressing concerns with the robo taxis and all that other stuff later. But for the most part, it is still a car business for Tesla. and we can see that it has been showing a lot of strain. But moving on to my criticisms of Elon Musk specifically, it all started with his acquisition bid of Twitter. So in April of 2022, he made a non-solicited bid to Twitter on basically buying out the company. He was already the CEO of around 3 to 4 companies. On top of my head, it was SpaceX, Tesla, and Neuralink. I think he was involved with the Boring Company, but I don't think he was the CEO. He was just like a spokesman for it. Tesla and SpaceX were the two major companies that he was the CEO of. And now, under the Twitter acquisition, he's acquiring another company, which further distracts him from his time from Tesla. Now, this wasn't too bad. He was doing it for the sake of free speech. He had the money for it. He had to sell some shares. In my opinion, buying another company was not necessarily all that bad, but it did create a conflict of interest further down the road, in particularly with XAI. There were 2 instances where he did conflict with Tesla when he acquired Twitter. One was the movement of talent as well as GPU orders from away from Tesla into Twitter, which is now called X, of course. And in my opinion, that was completely inappropriate. I don't think Elon Musk should have been soliciting talent from Tesla as well as diverting GPU orders away from Tesla into his new Twitter, later renamed X. I believe that was a breach of his duties to Tesla, an example of having conflict of interest, being CEO of 2 companies at the same time. This, for the most part, was a first strike against Tesla. As his duty of CEO towards the company, he prioritized another company that he had just recently acquired for his own personal benefit over the benefit of the shareholders. The second strike was Elon Musk tweeting conspiracy theories on his newly acquired platform, which I think was very inappropriate of a publicly traded CEO to do. I don't know if this is very memorable in the minds of most people, but there was a period after he acquired Twitter where he basically just non-stop posting conspiracy theories that did not look good on Elon Musk, and it did not look good on Tesla as a whole. Because the branding of Tesla relies heavily on Elon Musk, what he was doing on Twitter was not productive towards the shareholder. It did not provide any shareholder value. And in fact, I think this was the start of the destruction of shareholder value for Tesla. The third strike happened when he decided to participate in politics, basically endorsing Trump and helping Trump to win the 2024 election. He handed out $1 million checks to people who made a pledge. Now, the pledge wasn't specifically saying to vote for Donald Trump, but he basically did it at his events, and the implication was that if I give you this check, there's a high likelihood that you're going to vote for Donald Trump. So Elon Musk gave his endorsement to Donald Trump for winning the 2024 election, and the reason. Political participation is very risky for a publicly traded CEO to do, because for those who do remember, Bob Chapek was the CEO of Disney back from 2020 to 2022, and he basically decided to get in a fight with Ron DeSantis, the government on Florida, on their education on gender bill. I don't remember the exact name or details about it, but he decided to take a stand against the bill that the government of Florida was passing. And as a consequence, the government of Florida has revoked Disney's special privileges in running their parks. So Disney had a privileged position where they can manage their own parks. Probably they got some tax treatment, but the gist of it was that he decided it was okay to speak out. Ron DeSantis retaliated by taking away Disney's special privilege, and as a result, Disney shareholders lost value because of his political participation. I do not endorse any political participations of any kind. Because as you know, right now, other countries have a bad view of Tesla because of what Donald Trump is doing towards other countries. People are associated Elon Musk with Donald Trump's and his tariff policies, which as a result has affected Tesla sales overseas. The fourth strike was the Department of Government Efficiency. I think he ran it for around, I would say, 3 to 4 months, and then he had a falling out. I don't know what he accomplished during this time. In my opinion, I don't think it was very much. I think it was a waste of time. Department of Government Efficiency, for the most part, was overblown, and Elon Musk was very distracted. He just wanted to be a part of this. I guess he was just high on power or whatever, but I think the view of most American was that this department was not very effective in what it was trying to do. And again, it just further distracted Elon Musk from his time. And this is what really associated with Trump with Elon Musk. And Trump has very low approval ratings overseas, not only just in his own country, right? And of course, a study by Yale did conclude that Tesla did lose a lot of sales because of Musk's involvement. And then later, after he made that commitment, he completely sabotaged the relationship by making a tweet. Now, he did make some other tweets directed towards Donald Trump, basically associating him with the Epstein files, which, I mean, turned out to be true. But he basically formed a relationship, took a big risk, and then sabotaged the relationship at the end. He basically cost shareholders value yet again by taking the risk to form that relationship and then burning those bridges down. And I just don't understand why he would publicly humiliate Donald Trump in that matter. It was not only a humiliation on Donald Trump, it was a humiliation on Elon Musk and the country as well. It was not a good sign of unity. And Elon Musk basically just gave a reason for Donald Trump not to do any more favors for him in the future. Although I do believe that the reason why Elon Musk retaliated against Donald Trump was because of the fact that Donald did not really return any of the favors that that Elon was hoping for, possibly for the retention of the EV tax credit. Donald Trump still did not want to do it despite his support. And then, of course, the tariffs building up costs. So Elon Musk basically, pay the price, and then he got nothing out of it, and then he just wanted to vent his frustration in public. I don't think he should have done that. If Elon Musk had problems with Trump, he should have vented it. He should have spoken privately with him. This public spat, it was not a good look for Tesla, for Trump, and for the American people. And I think this was basically a fifth strike. The next issue is the robotaxi. Tesla is currently behind on Waymo on robotaxis. And that is just a fact. I don't care what anyone else says. Waymo is doing 250,000 rides per week. Meanwhile, Tesla's robotaxi service, they are still running into issues. They still have a human driver. And I don't know how long it's going to be before they can take out that human driver. I think Elon Musk was a little bit too arrogant and too confident in his vision-only system. And as a result of that error, Waymo now has the lead. Tesla, for the longest time, did not roll out any robotaxis. And I thought to myself, you know what, maybe Tesla just wanted to refine their vision systems. But if you think about it and just looking back, if Teslas were truly capable, don't you think that they would have just rolled it out as fast as possible? But they didn't do that. And the reason why they didn't do that was because their FSD was a little bit more dangerous than what previously thought, than what Tesla wanted people to believe. And that turned out to be true. When we saw the trials of the robotaxis on the roads, there were several major incidents that has occurred. And vision only is just not as good as having LiDAR, having vision, and as well as a combination of all the other sensors. So that arrogance by Elon Musk by not incorporating LiDAR or any other sensors has cost Tesla the robotaxi lead. And there is a good chance that Waymo, not Tesla, could be the dominant ride-sharing platform or robotaxi network going on into the future. So I am a little bit concerned about that as well. And then the other thing I wanted to address was the Optimus humanoid robots. Tesla is not the only one creating robots. There are a bunch of other companies creating robots as well. Of course, Tesla has, Elon Musk has done a lot of things. He pioneered through Tesla the EV market, SpaceX with its rockets. But competition always has a way of coming in, right? The market is super, super cutthroat. And despite Tesla's initial lead on EVs, we can just see how aggressive these Chinese companies are in pumping out these EVs at low cost and at relatively high quality. Of course, I do think Tesla is a little bit higher quality, but there is a very strong value proposition for these Chinese EV companies. And then if we look at, humanoid robots, and what's to say that, the same thing won't happen again? Amazon, for example, are currently developing their own humanoid robots. There's no guarantee that, Tesla is going to be the first one to come out with these workable robots and then capture the entire market. I do think that, Amazon, a bunch of other Chinese companies, they're going to develop their own robots and they're going to see major competition within the market, just like with EVs. Although I do like Tesla's ambitions on their humanoid robots, there is no guarantee, and this bet is more speculative. Again, competition will be coming in. The humanoid robots, I really do hope it does become a profitable venture for them. So these are just the quick notes that I wanted to say about Tesla. Right now it is trading at $400. If you are someone who fully invested into this stock, I would strongly consider maybe diversifying a little bit. There's nothing wrong with holding, big bets or speculative positions. I do think Tesla is a little bit more on the speculative end given its valuation and future promises. But just be aware of the risk, control your size, and Tesla does have serious competition. They are not untouchable. I would really like to own this stock again, but at this current valuation, at this current price, with what Elon Musk has been doing, I feel like the risk to reward of just holding onto the stock is just not worth it. I think there are better plays and better options out there. Of course, I did buy Duolingo, and that the stock declined from Duolingo. I lost a lot more money from Duolingo than I have from Tesla. But the reason why I'm more happy with Duolingo is because the fundamentals were there, the financials were there. Just because the CEO wanted to trade off some revenue growth for some additional user base growth does not mean that that future business capacity of the revenue disappears into the aether, right? They're just doing a trade-off in the near term for more user growth so that they can monetize it earlier. But as with Tesla, the business future seems to be more uncertain. The energy business does look good, but the growth in the energy business itself does not justify its PE ratio currently. And again, with the robo-taxis, there is competition. Tesla is not untouchable. And I just don't think vision only works. And I think Google, if you are looking to get into robo-taxis, I think Google is a must own. I think Google is a much higher quality stock at the moment. They have the cash flows, they have the business, they have the rides, and they will be profitable in the future. To those who are still holding onto the stock, I do wish you the best of luck. I hope you can still make a lot of money on the stock. This is not a hit piece against Tesla or anything. This is just a criticism I have against this company and why I sold out of it. I wouldn't mind going back into this company. I would love to own it again, but I definitely need the valuation to go down as well as an improvement of its fundamentals. I really want to see the robotaxi work, first of all. I think Elon Musk, that vision only, I think that was a huge misstep. It was a little bit too arrogant, a little bit too fast, and it probably will not work. And who knows how long Tesla will keep having the human driver supervising Tesla robotaxis. So that's all I wanted to say. I wish Tesla shareholders the best of luck. I am personally out of this stock, but I am always looking to get back in if the time is right. The stock market is very dynamic. Things can change within a month, within a week. Things change really, really fast. If you look at Carvana, I think that was the stock story of the decade, in my opinion. I think Carvana's comeback was incredible. Of course, this is no Carvana. It's a much higher quality company than Carvana, in my opinion. Given its current valuations and fundamentals, this is why I'm no longer holding it. But again, in the future, I would really like to get back in. Thank you all, and I'll catch you all in the next one.